This is a weekly webinar that we do every Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Central. This is fast moving consumer goods, how to launch a real consumer product in 90 days. So a little bit about who we are. We're a group of entrepreneurs who have 30 years experience in launching all types of product, from food products to beverages, cosmetics, alcohol brands, prepared foods, anything in the CPG space. So a consumer product good is what it means, consumer product good, or a fast moving consumer good. It's something that's on the shelf that comes off the shelf. So if you have an idea and you're thinking of a product, that it can be a cosmetic, an alcohol, as long as it's going to come off the shelf, that's something that we're here, we can help you with. We have over 30 years experience. We've launched over 1,000 products, and we have real company, public company experience. So a little bit about our sponsor today. Our sponsor is CBG Experience. Shannon and his group puts on events all over the U.S., trade shows. So those of you who have done trade shows, you know how hard it is, how expensive it is, and he takes all the work out of that. So what he does, he goes in, instead of you renting a 10 by 10 space and you're by yourself, somewhere in the corner, that $10,000 booth is plus, so it will end up costing you probably $20,000. So CBG Experience rents a large 20 by 50 booth. You're in a big area. They give you a four-foot area, which is just enough to have your logo and your product. You're there with another 20 or 30 people. He's inviting buyers from his network, plus all the other brands that are doing it, inviting brands to come there and check it out. By the time you're done, not only do you meet the people you've met, but also you get all the leads that are on there. So I know they're doing the IDBA show, the Independent Dairy and Bakery Show this week, but they're going to be in San Diego. So they're coming to San Diego in July. I believe it's July 20, 21st, and 22nd if you're a beverage brand. So if you are a beverage brand and you're interested in participating in the ECRM show, reach out to Shannon at CBG Experience, or reach out to us and we can put you in touch with them. So Shannon, thank you for your sponsorship. We truly appreciate it. So the anatomy of a successful product launch, there's 3 layers. Looks very complicated, but it's not. We're going to break down each floor one by one. So the foundation, we're going to build that, and then the first layer, and then the second layer. So what we do is we take your idea, which is a bunch of things on a napkin, and we come up with a blueprint that within 90 days is a step-by-step framework that will get your product launched in a very professional manner to the item to the right. When we meet a lot of founders, the product's on the left. That's what it looks like when we meet them. This is a very, very important statistic. This is from Nielsen's. 85% of all consumer packaged goods fail within the first year. So that is a very disappointing figure. And mostly it's not because the founder had a lack of passion or the product tasted bad or it wasn't a good idea. And the contrary, all those things are actually usually are working. They just launch in the wrong sequence. So they have poor execution. They do the correct in order of operations, and there's a lot of guesswork in going on. So today, what we're going to teach you is how successful founders do it well and how we structure it. So if everyone's ready, grab your pen and paper, and we're going to jump in. And if you don't have a pen and paper, that's okay. Tomorrow, this video will replay on YouTube. So here is a little bit of the 90-day market roadmap. So you can see we talked about phase 1, which is the foundation and product fit. We're going to jump into that, speaking about how to set up your corporation the correct way. We're going to talk a little bit about your avatar. For those of you who don't know what an avatar is, we'll explain it. We're going to get into numbers. COGS, we call it, cost of goods sold, retail margin, distributor margin, all those type of things. And then we're going to talk about go-to-market strategies like D2C and position for an early exit and so on. So we're going to be discussing all that. So right now, we have quite a few people on the webinar. Those are the ones that are going to be able to ask questions. maybe on the TikTok live, but probably not. But on the webinar, because you signed up for the webinar, you'll be able to go live and we'll be able to answer your questions. We're running live on Facebook Live and on LinkedIn that we have. So, step one, the trap of guessing, right? Most people, we meet them when they're over here at the end with their hand like this, almost close to abandonment. They've spent the average, what we meet people, they've spent about $250,000 to launch a product, and they still don't end up launching a product because of the costly mistakes. So, our job is to make sure if you take notes and go through this webinar and take some of the advice we give you, you will not be the person on the end with your pulling your hair out. So, a couple of myths. Most people, when we meet them, have a product and they're so excited, they think that their idea is so great that it'll sell by itself. That's not the case. Okay. Great products fail all the time because of margins, the positioning, they do the wrong sequence. It's not just the idea. They also think they have the perfect product. They don't need to think about the business part of it. And we actually do it in reverse. You need to think of the business part of it first, and then the product comes second. And then we meet a lot of entrepreneurs, founders, that their big thing is they want to raise capital to order a truckload to get the best price. And we completely disagree with that. You have to prove the concept. You have to prove the marketing. So we do what is called a small MOQ, proof of concept, which is able to get your product. You would not believe how many entrepreneurs we meet that have a warehouse or a garage full of product that can't sell because they didn't test the model first. They didn't see what the customer wanted and so on. So, really, we have a 90-day execution framework. We're going to take you step by step how to do it, which it can be done in 12 weeks without any guesswork. So, week one is foundation and IP. Step two is customer avatar. Step three is supply chain, brand, and retail and capital. So, we have clearly defined milestones and deliverables. So, again, a little bit of who we are. My name is Sandro Pianconi. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Fast Moving Consumer Goods. My partner, Jorge, we have both of us. We have 30 years each in the business. So we have over 60 years, built distribution companies both in the U.S. and Mexico. Jorge has distributed over 17,000 stores in the U.S., and we were the Miller Beer distributor in Mexico, in Baja California, Mexico. So we've opened a lot of doors, knocking on doors, and selling product. We've launched over 1,000 items. Also, we have written several books on how to do business, how to launch products. Our newest book is, if you have a beverage business, you should probably get the Build Your Beverage Empire. But this is our newest book, which is Wholesale MBA. You can go on Amazon and get it now. Clients of ours, of course, always get one signed, autographed from me and Jorge. But you can go on, grab it. If you actually read the book, you will have an MBA in wholesale. It'll give you all the step-by-steps, what you need to do. Very expensive way to make sure you don't make mistakes, right? We launched over 1,000 consumer products, from food, beverages, supplements. We help with formulation, manufacturing, supply chain, wholesale distribution, retail sales. And if you want to export your product to Mexico, we can help you do that. Our clients range anywhere from the eye drink, which is a doctor designed product, to Calmara, another doctor, to a dentist that has a mouthwash, protein bar, different products from different people. We've done work with Jones Soda, so it's a product for Jones Soda. So different brands, different people, we've helped launch products for them. A little bit of our other clients that you may know. This is Rick Ross. This is at his house. We helped him launch a product, did the formulation. We also do products for Snoop Dogg, both in the beverage space and the nutraceutical space, and then Cheech and Chong, that's there. So you could take a look at that. So a little bit more. This is the blueprint. Again, it shows it's more of a map how it shows it, which we'll go into detail. So if you're ready, this sounds very complicated, but if you do want this deck, we can send it to you. So afterwards, we'll let you know how we can send you the deck, and then also this recording will be on YouTube. So step one, the most important part, pillar number one, is building that foundation. So what we make sure is that you set up the right corporate structure in the right state. So what does that mean? Not doing it in California, not doing it in New York. You want to find a zero state tax. We recommend either Nevada or Wyoming is where our attorney sets up corporations for our brand. It's a zero state tax. It doesn't matter if you live in California or you live in Illinois, or you live in New York. It doesn't matter where you live. It depends where the corporation and the business is. So that's where we set that up. Also, we set it up where if there was an exit means you would sell the company, you would pay zero capital gains. So that all has to be done at the beginning. It has to be a C corp. Your accountant or attorney might tell you to do an LLC or an S corp. That is wrong for a consumer packaged good. A LLC is great for a real estate deal, but it is not good for a product consumer goods. So take our word for it. We've had several exits and we've not paid capital gains. So the only way it would work is doing it that way. Number two, IP. So what is IP? That's your trademark. We strongly recommend don't talk to anyone, don't say anything unless you have your trademark filed. So we have an attorney that will do free trademark searches for you. And if you like working with Tom, he would then file your trademark. It's very inexpensive. Better to do all the work at the beginning than later fighting a lawsuit, which is very time consuming and costly and not fun. Right. So a lot of people think they can trademark the formula. They can't. So if you hear Coca-Cola, they talk about their secret formula because it's secret. Once you file it, and they wouldn't get it. But if it was filed, they would not own the formulation anymore. So the formulation is your proprietary secret. That's yours, but you cannot trademark it. Someone can actually reverse engineer and make the product. And last, on the tax strategy, we are showing you how to set it up where everything you do at the beginning, formulation, samples, bringing us on board, is all part of your research and development. You're able to get $500,000 in tax credits that you can use off of future profits, or if you have an existing business, you can take it off your existing payroll taxes. So pretty cool. Number two, customer avatar, product market fit. So before we design your product, before we give it a name, before we design the packaging, before we do the size of the bar, we need to know who your demographics are, right? Who is your perfect avatar? Avatar is, you open up a dictionary and you say, who's my perfect customer? And it gives you, if it's a male or female, what age, what kind of sports, what TV shows do they watch, where they like to buy. When I meet an entrepreneur and I ask them, who's your avatar? And they say, everyone can buy my product. That's the wrong answer, right? You need to know who your perfect avatar is. Once we know who your perfect avatar is and what does your product solve? It needs to solve a problem, right? So my boys ask me all the time, what does an entrepreneur do? An entrepreneur solves a problem for money, right? Your product has to solve a problem. Right. So a lot of products that are launched, they saw a weakness in the marketplace for a product that was pretty good, but it didn't help all those things. So that's the pain point. And then once we do that, then we can figure out formulation, sizing, package choices, all those kind of things. So very important. We need to know who your avatar is before you can then do it, because then you can figure out the margins, you can figure out where it's going to be sold, and then you figure out all those things. So once we have that, then we can decide on the ingredients also. The ingredients have a lot to do with who your target market is, how much you can spend, what's your cost of goods sold. Then we go into finding a co-manufacturer. So we find two. We always find you a plan A and a plan B. Very important, because some of them, sometimes if you're going to sell into pharmacies, you may need an NSF facility. Sometimes you don't need an NSF facility. It just depends. Also, MOQs are a big deal. You know, everyone, when you start talking to them, they're going to want you to order a truckload or 2 truckloads or 3 truckloads. They're going to tell you that's what their MOQ is. And that's not true, right? The answer is they'll make one for you, they'll make 10 for you. It'll be expensive, but they'll do it, right? And so what we always talk about is what we call a proof of concept. So maybe it's 1,000 cartons or 10,000 cans that you can use for investors, you can use for affiliates. You could use it, and then 90% of the time something goes wrong, right? The flavor is maybe a little off, even though it was done on a tabletop in formulation. When it went to manufacturing, something went wrong. So we always make sure that you do a proof of concept, right? So if you have a proof of concept, it allows you to fix any problems to do it. Next thing is 3PL. What is a 3PL? It's a third party logistics. So the reason we recommend this, a lot of people like to do it out of their house. They want to have it in their garage, and they say, hey, Sandra, I want to save money. And really, you're not saving money for three reasons. One is a lot of these logistics companies already have highly discounted negotiation rates for with UPS, USPS, and so on. So they're getting 40, 50% less than what you would be paying. That's number one. Number two, you get orders in the middle of the night, or if you're on vacation, people are picking, packing, and shipping, right? I know people say all the time, oh, no, I'm always home, or my sons are always home. So one of our great clients, and they do a wonderful job, not their product, but their affiliate boxes they wanted to do themselves so they can handwrite a letter. They happen to be on vacation. And so for a week, some of our affiliates did not get their boxes. Not the end of the world, but when you're trying to get affiliates to sell for you, an affiliate, which we'll talk about, TikTok affiliate is like a location, a store. So you never want to turn down sales when you're on vacation. You want to build your business so it runs without you being there. And that's why you need a 3PL logistics. Also, they'll carry your product, they'll pick and pack and ship it. They have insurance, all those reasons why you want it. So a lot of people just use Amazon. Amazon is good for a product that's sold through Amazon. But nowadays, we can get you set up on Walmart.com, Target.com. We can get you set up on TikTok. And so Amazon will not fulfill that. Modern brand building and direct to consumer. So once we figure out who your avatar is, who the perfect client is, and we can figure out what the product is, then our chief marketing officer can then work with you to work on the logo, the lore, the story, right? Why are you doing this? The look and feel, packaging, and then the fun stuff, right? Which everyone wants to do, which is the website, the TikTok shop, all those kind of things, right? So a lot of our clients come to us and they want help on how to launch into retail, which we will do. But our question is always, are you retail ready? Are you ready for retail? And they said, well, of course I am. And we said, if Target gave you an order tomorrow for $600,000, A, do you have that inventory? Or B, do you have the money to finance that inventory? And usually the answer is no. And plus, if you're calling, there's a gatekeeper. So those of you in sales know there's a gatekeeper, and the gatekeeper at a chain is the buyer. And the buyer will tell you all the reasons why your product's not that great, that he has 20 others just like it, that he doesn't have any room on the shelf. So there's a gatekeeper. Or if he does like the product, even if he loves the product, he'll tell you that he can't go in this cycle. You have to go into the next cycle of 2027. And you're saying, well, boy, wait. I have inventory. I got rent to pay. I got my son's college I got to pay for. So what has democratized all that is D2C or TikTok. And so there is no gatekeeper. Oh, by the way, on selling to chains, not only do you have to have the inventory, wait the year, put the product in, they tell you it's 30 days, and then they'll probably pay you in 60 or 90 days. So a $600,000 order is about $1.2 million, $1.8 million that you need to turn that. So why do you go to D2C first? Is because you get paid in advance. So tomorrow we could set you up a TikTok shop. You could be selling. You are building your audience, telling your story. You are telling your story, why the product, the history behind it, the lore behind it, why they should be buying your product. But also you get paid in advance, and then you ship the product. And guess what? Guess who's looking at TikTok? Buyers. So we've already had it on one of our brands, this one right here, where we have about a 300 400 videos already up and running, and a buyer of a chain association of convenience store chains, about 2,000 stores, saw the product, reached out to us, and now we're following up. Our team is following up to see if we can put that product in 2,000 stores. So that's how it works. Those of you in sales, that's a much easier sell when you're selling when they call you, then you pick up the phone and doing a cold call. So keep that in mind. That's why we recommend D2C first. Retail strategy. If you're ready for retail, then we can help you with buyer presentations. We can negotiate slotting fees, different things, warehouse programs. We can find distributors. We can recommend that we go local, like Sprouts has franchise stores starting Southern California. There's also 7-Eleven franchises, so you could start with 100 stores, see what the turns are, see what the sales are before you go nationwide to do it. So, which is a very costly thing to do. Also, then we get the capital raising somewhere in your journey, and it could be at the beginning of the journey, or it could be at in the middle of the journey. You're going to need to raise capital. So usually you heard the word friends and family. The other word for it is seed capital. We also have Reg CF, which is crowdfunding. You can raise up to $1.2 million. Again, they've democratized the way. You don't have to go to Wall Street. You don't have to get on a plane, go to New York and put on a tie. We can help you raise up to $1.2 million sitting at your house. Then we have what's called a Reg A that I believe can raise up to $5 million, and then an IPO. And we've been fortunate enough to have one of our companies and our platform go IPO on NASDAQ. But also, if you don't want to give up any equity, there are other ways to do it, which alternative financing, which is called PO financing, AR financing, and supply chain, all which are very difficult, but we can show you how to do it. We've been through the rodeo before. So main point number 3, the cost of implementation, right? Normally, if you are on the left, this is how most of our entrepreneurs, they're guessing. They get up in the morning, they don't know what to do, or we're on a call with them. We're talking to their lawyer or their CPA who's negotiating the co-man agreement or the formulator, which they have no idea what they're doing. So instead, we have a chain of a structure, how we do legal, CPA, product development, manufacturing. So everything is coordinated in one system. We teach you how to operate like a CEO and not a hobbyist. So this is the fun part here. We talk about certain exits. So approximately 3 years ago, most of you probably never heard the word Poppy. You never saw it. Because if you did, it was called Mother's Beverages. It looked like a medicinal product. It was an apple cider vinegar that had prebiotics. And so a fund came in, invested capital, saw what the founder was doing, liked it, and re-engineered, re-architectured the product, made it more of a soda with prebiotics. They did a lot of TikTok narrative. So that's what their strategy was, selling on TikTok, which then later went to DSD distributors, to then getting into retail. So it was first on TikTok. They incentivized all their TikTok affiliates with stock and options for DSD distributors. Worked out really well. I believe in April, they sold for almost $2 billion, $1.95 billion, which is a pretty good exit. 850 million up front and 1.1 in performance through Pepsi. So Pepsi ended up buying the company. So this was fun. This one I like a lot. Love telling this story. Once Upon a Farm is a local San Diego company. It was started in a garage here in University City. I was fortunate enough to meet the founder. There's 2 co-founders. I met one. His name is Ari Raz. He told the story at the Naturally event, which is how Jennifer Garner came on to become a co-founder and help take the company, sky high. But they They had an IPO, I believe, 700. There's right there, 724 million. Maybe it's at $1 billion market cap right now, which is super cool. And then a new hot sauce, which you would think, between Cholula and all the brands out there, that why would they need another hot sauce? But this one's doing really, really well right now. They're crushing it. So it's a lot of content creators are involved. That's who's on the cap table. So growing faster than Poppy. So very interested. So on raising capital, we have been tasked. We were invited to sit on the board of directors of a new fund that's launching called CBG. Life Fund. It's a $20 million fund for CBG brands. So to invest in companies that already have a minimal viable product, we're asked to come on as an advisor to sit on the board to help them look at deals, bring them deals that do it. So we're very excited about that. It's a hot space right now. So if anyone on any of the platforms are seeing it and looking at it and are interested in the fund, investing in the fund, please reach out to us. We can introduce you to the fund manager. So eliminating the friction. A lot of people on the call that we talk to are people that have an idea, right? They call us and they say, hey, this idea, I have a great job, it's doing well, but I really want to start this company. I've had this dream for a long time. I have the capital to do it. How much time is involved? And so what we've done, and we've structured our program for full-time professionals, it works on 1 to 2 hours a week. So as long as you can give us 1 to 2 hours a week, and it can be at your convenience, so it can be on a Saturday, it can be at 5 o'clock at night, we will set up a time to give you the roadmap and go 1 hour. Also, if you said, I've never done it before, don't worry. We've done it 1,000 times. We've made every mistake in the book. So we're going to make sure you don't make them. That's our promise to you. So a couple of ways you could work with us. We have what we call our VIP, where clients hire us. They get our full-time 1 hour a week. And then when we're done with that 1 hour a week, we go back. Our team is working on their project to get them where they are. But it just depends on where you are in your funnel, right? Where you are in your entrepreneurial dream. So it could be that you already have a formulation, or you have an idea, you need a formulation. Then we also have what we call do it yourself, where maybe you don't have the budget for VIP, but we have a 12-week curriculum course, which then gives you a group founder call. So you're on with me and Jorge, but it's a group call. You have a launch planner, which is your homework. So at the end of 12 weeks, you're going to end up with your business plan and ready. You know who your avatar is. You're going to have a minimal viable product. You may or may not get it formulated with us, but at least you'll know what to ask your formulator and to get it done. So let's look forward, right? Let's say we're, what are we today? We are June 10th, June 11th. We are September 11th, bad day, September 1st. And you're saying, hey, boy, where am I at? You would have your corporation structured, ready to go, with all the things ready for tax optimization, right? So you'd be ready for a exit to pay zero capital gains. You would have everything ready in place for your research and development. You would have your trademarks totally filed and ready to go. You would have a reliable manufacturer. You would know what your margins are. We would help you design your margins so you know what your cost of goods sold is, what the consumer would pay for it, the retailer and the distributor. And you would have a product ready for market. So this is not a pipe dream. It's reliable structure. We do this all the time, helping our clients launch products in 90 days. A little bit about the breakdown of what you get. You get a lot of what's in here. It's about $30,000 worth of value that we have. We've given retail buyers lists, so you end up with a list, 3PL warehouses, investment fund list. You get a $5,000 coupon for your custom formulation. So if it's something you want to do, you could sign up for that and you get all those benefits if you were to sign up tomorrow. What I'd like to do right now is open it up for questions. And then what we can do too is if you'd like to set up a call, Fernando, can you drop in the call, um, my calendar. If you'd like to set up a call to work with us, you could go ahead and do it. Go into our calendar, set up a time. It would be either myself or one of our teammates will take the call and see where you are in your journey and how we can help you. So you would either scan that or we'll drop in the code. So go to our calendar, and then we can go ahead and help you do that. And so we can, what we're looking for, what you should be looking for is if you're ready to go, you have an idea, you have some funding, and you're ready to take the 90-day journey. This call is not for people looking for investment. That is a totally different call. That we have an incubator for that, but to be in the incubator, you need to have a minimal viable product and have worked with us for 90 days to make sure you have the corporation set up the proper way and so on. So, Fernando, do we have any questions here? Let me see if I can get to questions. Let's see. Not right now. So we got one, two. Do we have questions on? It's going to be hard to do them on TikTok, but does someone have questions? Please, if someone has we got someone in the chat. Let's see. Oh no, we dropped it in. So to set up the free one-on-one call, and if you'd like to see this tomorrow, you can go on to YouTube. That's our YouTube channel, and you can see our replay. But also, you can see some of our clients. We have some client videos up there. Doctors who we've launched their products for them. So they have some pretty cool videos that are on there. So you can go check them out. Do we have any questions? Someone has to have a question here. So we got Corey, Rana. Hey, Rana, how are you? I'm glad you could join us. I know you're from San Diego, so thank you. I'm sure we're going to meet you in person, but I see you're working out. So you're, what's it called? Double dipping or, so that's cool. Max, do you have any questions? Let's see. Jackie, Fair, Ty, Alec. I'm sure, Alec, you have some questions. Again, reach out if you have any questions. You can just raise your hand and we'll unmute you. But or you can set up a time. So obviously we have VIB clients that we work with once a month. We do what we call a mastermind, where we have all of our clients fly out to Coronado, San Diego. We're in Coronado. We have a one-day hands-on meeting where we discuss different challenges. We have guest speakers. We have new innovations that we're working on. So people come and do that. Works out really, really well. This month, we're doing it June 25th at the Coronado Cays Yacht Club. We have a guest speaker, Aaron Halderman, talking about directed IRAs, which is what we talked a little bit about, how to make an investment in your company, and if you have an exit, to pay zero capital gain. So it's actually part of a Roth IRA and Rule 1202 of the IRS code. So we're going to be talking about that on that event. And then, so we got people, but boy, so one of the things of the entrepreneur is you gotta stand out, raise your hand, ask a question, or just tell me what your product is. And if you have any questions, maybe about the corporation, about formulations, what's working on TikTok, so on. So, but it looks like of all the people on there, we have no one raising their hand. So I couldn't have done that great of a job. Let's see, Ty, Alec. Well, why don't we do this? If no one has questions or they don't want to jump on, what they can do is book a call with us. And hold on, maybe that was my question. Oh, okay. So that was it. So Jackie had a question. Perfect. What's your YouTube link? It's in the right above you, actually. If you go up a little bit, Jackie, the YouTube will be there. So it says youtube.com at Fast Moving Consumer Goods Inc. So you can jump in there. We just did it again. You can go in there and watch. We have videos week by week. Normally, we do what's called a hot seat. We had one scheduled but they weren't able to make it. So a hot seat is where one of our clients or one of our potential clients is on there, and they're on there and they tell us a little bit about their history, where they are, and how we can help them. Sarah, is a C Corp only good for exit purposes? It's good for three things. Number one is if you're going to raise capital, can you raise capital in LLC? Yes, it's very cumbersome unless you have 3 or 4 people and they all pitch in money and they're your friends. It's very clunky to do it that way. So a C corp is built for raising capital, right? So you could have 10 shareholders, you could have 1,000 shareholders. So a C corp is if you're going to raise capital. Okay, which some of you are going to need to do. Second, also, it's if you're going to do it, if you're going to have an exit, it's there for there. And third, right now it is the cheapest way to pay taxes. Meaning, if you do an S corp, it will flow through to you, and if you have a job, you are going to pay whatever that income is going to roll on to what your W-2 income is. So in a C corp, what's going to happen is you're going to pay your taxes, your 20% or 21%. You're going to pay your corporate taxes, and depending how you set it up, that the profits will come to you tax free, or not tax free. Tax is already paid because you paid the 20%. So there's a lot of strategies that goes behind. We're big fans of C corps. So, and again, if you go, hey, I got an S corp or I got an LLC, it's easy to change, right? Don't worry, it's easy to change. So I open LLC for my skincare, but you mentioned that was not good to start with. So S corp is better. No, no. So not an S corp and not a LLC. What you want to do is finally get a C corp, right? That is our ultimate. Again, if you're just a consulting business, an S corp's fine. An LLC is fine, but we are really for what we call a consumer products good, right? That you're going to scale it, you're going to raise it, you're going to get in 10,000 stores. Unfortunately, that takes capital, right? So your LLC, you can use it for a piece of property. You could use it for your consulting company. The corporation can pay your LLC. So it's not a waste. It's just the main business should be in a C corp. So, and there's a lot of accountants that won't tell you that because they just don't know, or they've never built a CPG company before and they've never had an exit. So we are just talking from experience because we've made a lot of mistakes. So I'm glad everyone's asking questions now. So that's great. Let's see if I have, here we go. So obviously the first book I showed you is this one, where you're going to learn the most. But the second book I recommend to all of our entrepreneurs or anyone is to get this book. It's in the Rich Dad Poor Dad series. It's called Tax Free Wealth. I tell everyone, be careful. And they say, why? And I say, because after reading the book, you're probably going to fire your CPA. And they laugh because this goes into a lot of details on tax write-off, setting things up a certain way for both for taxes, but also protecting assets, right, from lawsuits and so on. That's a whole different conversation that I think is worth week 2 or 3. We're not going to discuss it now. So I'm glad people are asking questions. Is it difficult process to convert from an LLC? Yes. It's two different things, right? Completely two different things. You can't convert them. So keep the LLC for, again, a consulting business. You can keep it for, they're really good for real estate. So keep it. So when you're ready to buy a real estate, you have it with a bank account, but converting it is not. You can convert a C Corp to an S Corp. I don't know how long the time is. You'd have to ask your CPA or Google it. Could you go from an S Corp back to a C Corp? So don't know. But you cannot convert an LLC to a C Corp. So thank you, Alec, for that question. Yeah, if you have an LLC, keep it. They're great for real estate. So perfect thing. But a C Corp is the idea for consumer goods. Yes. Yeah, a C Corp is perfect for that. Or it's the 3 things, right? It's perfect for a consumer goods product. It's good to raise capital. It's the cheapest way to pay taxes. And if you're going to have an exit, it's the best way to do it. The Rule 1202 only works on a C Corp. It does not work on an S Corp and does not work on an LLC. So, um, ask us about some fast-moving questions. The corporation stuff's fun, especially when you have an exit that's over 7 figures and not pay any capital gains. So that's fun. Probably most people on the call are not worried about an exit. They're worried about starting the brand and figuring it out. So, but yes, uh, if anyone has any, these are the things that are taught both in the VIP classes or on the do-it-yourself product. And again, or some people need help with sales and marketing. We have a brokerage company that our clients are in over 30,000 stores. That 30,000 stores, just all of our clients in 30,000 stores. The open retail, we also are a partner in a TikTok agency that's working really well now. Again, it democratized the buyer. You have a direct conversation with your client, which is very important. The other thing sometimes they ask me, so let's take retail out and let's take direct to consumer out. If you have an idea and you have a product and you want to see if it's going to work, I recommend people. I've been doing this for 30 years, and I'm glad Ari Raz told the story when they started Once Upon a Farm. That if you have a product and you have an idea, I want you to rent a table at a farmer's market. Every place in the country has farmer's markets. Here in San Diego, we have a cool one down in Little Italy. We have one up in Vista. There's some really cool ones. So you rent a table, you have a little table there, you have some flyers, and you show your product, and people walk by. And you let them taste it. You tell them, hey, what do you think of this product? And would you pay $8? Would you pay $10? What do you think of it? And you get all kinds of people, healthy people, non-healthy people, old people, young people, hippies. Everyone walks by and you get to talk to them. And it's the least expensive way to get customer on your product. And if you have inventory, it's a good way to sell and get cash. Right. So if you do it right, you can make $500 to $1,000 on a weekend, which most people need to fund their business. So I'm a big fan of farmers markets. I think everyone should be doing it. And then I love the fact that that's how Once Upon a Farm started, and now they're in every single Target that's out there. So that's my for the day. I think we answered everyone's questions. We promised that we would be done in under an hour, and we are. We know your time is very valuable, so thank you for jumping on with us today. Next week we'll be back to having the hot seat, so you'll get to meet one of the entrepreneurs that is launching a product. And next week is going to be a recording. It might be of this one, or we're going to have another one, maybe one with the hot seat, because we're going to be at the World Cup. We have a game at SoFi Stadium. So we're going to be gone next week. So it's going to be a recording, but you may not need to come, but there's other people that are going to come on and do it. And so we won't be able to answer these questions, but there'll be other questions that we answered from 2 or 3 weeks ago. So, all right, everyone, thank you for joining. And please set up a time if you would like to discuss your project with us. Okay. Thank you, Fernando. Thank you, everyone.